Let's fast forward. It's now the early 21st century. What does the world look like? Europe is still divided between several great empires, though they've evolved. Austria-Hungary is now a federal state, with significant autonomy for its various ethnic groups. The German Empire has transitioned to a constitutional monarchy, with real power held by an elected parliament. The British Empire has slowly granted independence to most of its colonies, but the process took decades longer than in our timeline. India finally became independent in the 1980s. African nations gained independence throughout the 1970s, 80s, and 90s. Russia is a constitutional monarchy, conservative but stable. There was never a Soviet Union, never a Cold War. The United States, which in our timeline becomes a superpower, in part because of its role in World War II, remains powerful but not dominant. Without the wars, American isolationism persists longer. The U.S. doesn't take on the role of global policeman. Without the Cold War, the world isn't divided into two camps. There's no NATO, no Warsaw Pact. International relations are more multipolar, with several great powers jockeying for influence. This makes the world more unpredictable in some ways, but also less prone to global confrontation. There's no single rivalry that threatens to destroy civilization. Technology has advanced, but along different lines. The internet still emerges, but perhaps a decade later, driven by commercial rather than military needs. Climate change is a major issue, as it is in our timeline, but without the industrial acceleration that two world wars brought, carbon emissions are somewhat lower. The problem still exists, but it's less severe. Social progress has come, but more slowly. Women in many countries didn't gain the right to vote until the 1950s or 60s. LGBTQ rights are decades behind where they are in our timeline. The civil rights movement in the United States, which in our world was influenced by the experience of black soldiers in World War II, happens later and progresses more slowly. In the Middle East, the absence of European colonial mandates means a very different political landscape. The Ottoman Empire transitioned into a Turkish-led federation by the 1930s. Many Arab provinces gained autonomy within this framework. There was never a British mandate over Palestine, so the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, as we know it, doesn't exist. There are still tensions between different ethnic and religious groups, still conflicts over resources and territory, but the specific flashpoints of our timeline never developed. China, which in our timeline underwent a communist revolution in 1949, follows a different path. Without the destabilization caused by Japanese aggression in World War II,